My name's Mark Hawthorne and I'm leader of Gloucestershire County Council. I think it's a great county to live in. It's got a fantastic countryside, the Cotswolds, the Forest of Dean. It's got two great urban hubs in Gloucester and Cheltenham. It's got rugby, it's got horse racing, it's got everything. It's just a fantastic place to live. I think the biggest problem we've got in Gloucestershire at the moment is an ageing population. The over 85 population is increasing by about 4.5% per year. That's way above the national average. And also what we're seeing is a net outflow of young people. So every year on average about 400 young people leave the county. If you go to Bristol, there's an influx of 4,000 young people into Bristol every year. So there is a bit of a net outflow of young people. We are getting older. And while at the moment that doesn't feel like the county is changing, it's got a huge impact down the road where that could become a tipping point for our county and our country and our economy. And I think we need to start addressing that, and that's what Vision 2050 is all about. If you look at 4.5% increase in older population, again, that's not a lot. But actually, you roll that up to say 2039, which is when ONS figures take us. That means we're going to have over 65 population increase by 78,000. The 18 to 65 population increases at the same time by only 4,000. And yet, Gloucestershire's economy has got the potential of creating 100,000 new jobs in that period. Those sums just don't add up. So if we don't start making decisions now, we don't start thinking about how we're going to solve that now, then we are going to get to a tipping point as a county. We're going to get a point where the county simply keeps getting older. But we're also going to get to a point where businesses start going, well, actually, what's the point in setting up in Gloucestershire? I'm never going to be able to recruit the people that we need to employ. I think all of the ideas are really, really important. So, the extra bridge over the Severn Crossing is something we've been calling on for a number of years. But that's not just about making it easier for people to commute in and out of the Forest of Dean. That's got to be about giving the opportunity for more growth in the south of the county. I think we've also talked about the super city. Now, I know that's slightly controversial, but the way I look at it, it's about challenging the way we think about Gloucester and Cheltenham. We're already seeing a huge increase in the number of housing in Gloucester and Cheltenham over the next 15 to 20 years. We're already seeing incursions on the Greenbelt, and all of this is happening in an unplanned way. If we start thinking about Gloucester and Cheltenham working closer and better together, maybe we can start tackling some of the issues that people keep going on about, like integrated transport. Why can't we have integrated transport solutions like they have in Bristol? In Gloucestershire, the population of Gloucester and Cheltenham are very much the same with where Bristol is now. So it's about thinking differently. It's about looking at ourselves in the big picture, looking at Gloucester and Cheltenham and Tewkesbury working closer together, and then maximising the opportunities that we can from the development we've already agreed upon and the housing numbers that we've already got in place. Doing nothing isn't an option. If you go back to those really scary statistics, that 78,000 more people over the age of 65, only 4,000 more people between the age of 18 and 65, and 100,000 jobs. If we do nothing, that's not going to work. We need to do something to start addressing the issues. I think the second point is we've already agreed huge increases in housing numbers across Gloucester and Cheltenham. That is needed. People are living longer. The impact of that is you've got 3 or 4 generations in different housing at any one time. That wasn't the case 20 or 30 years ago. So there is a real need for extra housing, and we're only going to keep people, young people in particular, in our county if we can deliver affordable housing and we can deliver a good supply of housing. So we need to do that. But then we need to ask ourselves the question, what else is it that's going to attract young people, it's going to attract employers, it's going to attract jobs into our county? And that's the sort of stuff you're seeing happening in Bristol, in Nottingham, in Birmingham, in some of the other really large metropolitan areas that are on our doorstep and just down the road. And if we're not doing the same thing, if we're not looking at what's the culture offering for Gloucestershire, what's the open space offering for Gloucestershire, what's the integrated transport offering for Gloucestershire, what's the future health and education offering for Gloucestershire, then we're going to lose out, because young people will vote with their feet, they'll leave our county, and then eventually we'll start see the employers leaving too. We need to be talking about the things that really make an urban centre like Gloucester and Cheltenham really sing and hum, something that really attracts young people, something that really attracts people who want to stay in our county. So, and those ideas need to come forward from the young people themselves. So we need to understand from them what's the sort of things that would stop them going to Bristol and to Birmingham and to London. What are the things that will help make them stay in Gloucestershire and raise their families and spread the next generation on as well. So those are the ideas that we need to hear. We need to take this conversation forward, because let's remember the decisions we make today may take 5, 10, 15, 20 years to come to fruition. If we don't make these decisions today, then in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, people will look back and wonder what we were doing and why we didn't act. And that's why this conversation is really important.